Did you ever email our directors just like randomly?
Never.
Never?
No.
Don't listen to him. Okay. No, say you have already said you have questions for it and you want to learn maybe about where they came from or some of their process. Just email them. Because there are a lot of people like, I'm scared. You know,
You asked me to art.
Oh, sorry. I mean like in general.
Oh,
artists.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you like hate criminals and delivering stuff for a while.
Yeah, sometimes people won't answer you. Usually people won't answer you.
We will usually answer it. I find.
Most people won't answer you.
Okay.
I mean, there's still artists that won't answer stuff.
All right.
And I'm still a fan.
Okay, I say try anyway because I
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
got an answer.
No, I'm not saying don't try. I still try. Yeah.
Continue.
No, that's it. That's the end of the story.
And then
Keep trying.
Just keep trying.
Yeah.
No, but I was gonna say, like, both of us said, like, oh, a friend of a friend who goes to job. This wasn't terrible.
Oh, it's the whole community.
But how do you get yourself into those communities?
You start posting your stuff.
You start posting your
comment
stuff.
on other people's stuff.
Is that it though? Or, like, do you go to Otakuthons and talk to artists or not? No, not really.
Well, I mean, I'm here talking to you.
You're right. You're right.
I'll help you talk to people afterwards. Yeah.
Don't be shy about seeing artists and showing them their work and trying to get feedback. Odds are they will, in my experience. Some of them won't.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well,
Sometimes
yeah.
Sure. Sure. Generally, we're nice. You got away from it.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
wants to go.
Free week off.
Oh, what a waste. What a waste. It's okay. So tell us about what you're doing in terms of your process. What do you think?
So I'm sketching.
Yes.
I like to work.
Is this part of your normal workflow at, say, THQ?
No, it's not.
Or IS?
Let me tell you what.
Pretend it is.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, with concept art and design stuff like that, we tend to do a lot of tailoring to our process. So sometimes I'll work with lines. Others I'll make a lot of shapes and paint. Other times we'll start playing around with photos.
Because I feel like there's a bit of a myth in terms of people when they think about what concept art the process is like in these studios. And they sit down and they're like, I'm going to do this awesome painting, this sweet Jamie Jones painting, and they're like, this is great. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's much more like, he's done a sketch like this, send it to the art director, and he'll be like, I don't like it. You go back, and then you add like a tentacle coming out of his nose, and he'll be like, yeah, I want something different, not that different. And now it's a really ugly process. It is not sexy at all. It's very much like when you're at home and saying you're doing a piece for yourself or a painting for yourself, you've got all the time in the world to sort of polish it and render it and make it look nice, right? There's no time for that in most development cycles of a game. You're going to want to get that character done in less than a few days, hopefully, or at least something presentable to show the ideas. You're using photos, you're using you stole from the internet, you're using whatever you can to represent that image, right? So say you've got a space marine, because
we need more.
Because we need more. There's not enough space marines in this world. I'm just kidding, we're done. But say you're doing a space marine, right? And instead of rendering that thing and doing that like a painting you would with oil, you're going to take a photo of a car hubcap, and you're just going to paste it on, and you're going to actually light it, because it gets the point across. And sometimes there's positives about that, because it will make images and shapes that you didn't think would happen if you just painting it yourself, right? So don't be, in terms of concept art, don't be afraid to use photos or whatever you can. I mean, don't obviously use like, I'm very well. It's like, oh, you just use that, try to find things that are basically public domain or at least obscure. just to get rid of legal things. But honestly, a concept, you should be able to use anything to get it done. Yeah. So the kind of sketchy stuff that Chase was doing, when I was working at IDOS on Deus Ex with Chase, that wasn't really the process we had. Because Deus Ex is such a very sort of photographic, very sort of like, it's all shiny and stuff, we didn't really have the liberty to just to sketch it out, right? We would take a photo of a model or something, we would put the textures on the arm, because we needed that photorealism done in like hours. There's no way you can paint that traditionally.
Yeah.
Whereas vice versa, when I'm at Ubisoft, they're a lot more flexible in terms of the images and the concepts. They like the idea, they like to call us illustrators instead of concept artists at Ubisoft, which gets some people a bit mad.
Cool.
But generally the concepts are a lot more like, this sounds dumb, pieces of art. I mean, they're a bit more interpretive and they're a bit more sort of flowy, but I find they've got better mood and sort of communicate the atmosphere a bit more. However, if you give that to a modeler, he's going to hate it, because it's like, I don't know what this thing is, like how am I going to model that in 3D? So it kind of depends where you go with it. Some studios prefer much more technical stuff. Some studios are super good 3D modelers and know instantly what to do for them.
Yeah, it also, like, a lot depends on the team you're on, because sometimes you'll have modelers who need a blueprint. Basically, every single thing needs to be spelled out. Seemingly,
Which isn't their fault.
No. I mean, there's different strokes for different folks, kind of thing. But there are a lot of character artists, I would say, that like the really painterly, messy stuff, because they kind of want to take their own interpretation. So I mean, it all depends.
Sure. You'll be doing T-poses either way. T-poses are a lot of fun. Now, this is a bit more sort of my kind of stuff when I do it. I cannot do line art to save my life, and so I avoid it like the plague. And it's been 8 years and I've survived so far. And I found a lot of artists, especially ones on me, say, I gotta be good at everything, I gotta be good at lines, I gotta be good at rendering. Some people really just aren't good. You can spend as much time improving all the areas if you want, that's fine. But you're gonna risk kind of diluting yourself. Diluting? How do I say that? Not like being a delusion, like diluting your skill. You know what I mean? So generally people, when they ask me, I say focus on what you're good at. I like to see artists that, it's good to see artists that are passionate about what they're doing. If I see an artist that doesn't like drawing space marines, is just doing it to get a job, I understand the need, but I feel like if you do work that you know you like doing and that is your best work, people of that are going to see it for that, you know what I mean? If you have a portfolio of just you half-assing space marines, you'll get a job doing that and you're going to hate your job, I would assume. Right? Does that happen to you too? That's happened to me.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Especially in studios where you get hired to work on one IP, intellectual property, and then sometimes games just get canceled, movies just get canceled, comics, books, all that good stuff. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. And then usually what happens if you're in a studio environment is that you're stuck there. So they have to try and find a place for you so you can kind of move to another project, which has happened to me a couple times now.
We sound ridiculous.
No,
We're not that jaded about it. We're just trying to explain how it is.
It's just what happens, but I don't mind it because I like doing a lot of different things. Like, I worked on some Space Marine stuff when I was at THQ. I'm not the biggest fan of Warhammer, but it just kind of got me to learn something new that I wasn't usually comfortable with. So I kind of try and see the silver lining on the project that I get put on. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. So
It's also about applying what, it sounds terrible, what makes you special, right? If I get an assignment for Assassin's Creed, they say, we need the mayor of Paris. Well, that doesn't sound very exciting. But you have to really think about how can I make that character who's just a dude in a hat. How can I make him an interesting character and a character I really want to kill? You know what I mean, right? Because in the game you'll have targets and it's like, oh, this is just some dude. Okay, how do I make that exciting? You have to look up your references and find what's a texture that's really interesting. How can I give this guy a certain look while being in the constraints of who he is? But I like what you're doing with Chase. I like the forms. You know what I mean? Hey, we should switch. We're almost out of time. This is insane.
Yes.
So Jeff,
No.
this rarely happens in the industry where you actually get to switch off games and collaborate like this.
Yeah, it's weird. Actually, it should happen more often because then
Yeah, that'd be
who
awesome.
cares?
That'd be so cool.
But it's an ego thing, right? Because someone took my concept then.
Yeah, I don't want you to change anything because
Then
everything.
I can't like post and brag about it, right?
Well, that's another thing too. It's like you see a lot of people post their work, especially if it's in engine, and they'll have their name next to it, all that kind of stuff. And there's no other credits, and everybody's just kind of saying, "Well, I helped. I did some stuff on there." So
I did that recently.
yeah,
Because Unity, the next Assassin's Creed Unity, the trailer came out.
Yeah.
And I was on it for about a year and a half, but that was about a year and a half ago. So most of my designs have been
Yeah,
changed. I
yeah.
still posted it. I was like, this is my game.
yeah,
This is good.
that's true.
So much has changed.
Well, that's the same as like when I worked on Darksiders 2. Yeah, I'd done some levels and like a lot of weapons. Well, I should kind of preface it with saying I'm not. Jeff mostly does characters, whereas I do environments. That's kind of where I am in the spectrum.
You do both.
I-
I'm just handicapped.
I
I
just-
can't do environments.
Well, I like characters. I like the whole storytelling thing and kind of, you know.
I'm sorry, this is a lot darker than our screen. And I always work super dark, and I'll try not to.
So yeah, like when I was working on Darksiders 2, I completely forget where I was going with that. But
We're talking about environments and characters.
yeah, oh yeah, right. So a lot of that stuff just disappeared. Like, yeah,
Speaking of Darksiders 2,
yeah.
let me. I got a question for you.
Okay.
So,
He doesn't know. You're probably-
I have no idea, but ask away.
here's my question: why did you change some gameplay element from the first to the second one?
He's a concept artist. He
Gameplay.
has no voice in this.
Yeah.
They say we need a skull. He draws
Yeah.
a skull. He has nothing.
Okay, so but from what I can remember from like the meetings and all that kind of stuff with the gameplay, they wanted to make it sexier. That's what they said.
Oh,
They wanted
nice.
it,
Advice we get for all our concepts.
yeah. They wanted it sexier. They like death was supposed to be more like fluid, like a lot of the gameplay.
Sexier.
Yeah, that was the thing because in the first one, I think it was War, right?
Yeah,
so cool.
War was just a walking Hulk, right?
Yeah,
Just
it's
smashing
more
things.
stoic than his counterpart, Death.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a lot of
Those
the
games are
stuff.
terrible anyway, let's be honest.
I mean, it was okay. It was cool. I like it.
I still like the idea of a Legend of Zelda, but with a darker tone.
Yeah, for sure. Like I totally agree. But yeah, the whole gameplay thing. That's on the guys down in
Those games are
Texas.
so good.
That
the
is
company
so
changed
cool.
right after they sold it.
Yeah.
Well done.
By the way, I got another question for you.
Yeah.
Did you work on the design of the other world in the Darksiders 2 game?
The other world.
The death world.
Yes.
Where everything is full of death and
Yeah.
the
Well, actually, I
legendary-
think that, from what I can remember, that was the only part that I worked on. Actually, it was the dead.
That's ironic. I
The
don't know.
dead stuff.
I don't know.
That's what you're talking about. Like you're talking about like the Raven Temple stuff.
Yeah, temple and character design wise.
Once again, like no, the character stuff with the other guys. I mostly did like the environments and stuff like that. Like I did like swamps and skulls. I don't even honestly. I played like maybe like 15 minutes of the game. Probably more than that. But small chunks. I only ever played small chunks because in development there's always bugs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's only so much time.
You
that
never
can
want to
spend.
play your own game.
I never play the games that I actually work on. To be
You're
honest.
just like, oh.
I like them. It's just the amount of time that you have to devote to playing a game like cover to cover is like wow. I don't have 15 hours to throw in Dark Star. I don't even know how long it takes. the last game that I spent more than 10 hours on was probably Diablo 3. And I really, like, I had to uninstall that on my computer a bunch of times because it was just sucking up way too much time. No, that's not fair. Dota. So anyways, what are you doing there now?
So I'm taking your forms,
Yeah?
your dark forms,
Okay.
and I'm trying to add mid-tones.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add highlights on top of that,
Mm.
which is the most basic way of seeing everything I do.
Okay.
That's cool.
I keep it simple. As you can see, I'm just adding layers and layers and layers and things. I wish this color was better because I could show you how I can color
So
stuff.
cool.
They usually start in grayscale like I have right here, and they'll add a color filter to it either from here. Say
Red maps.
Gradient map, say, and then you choose something.
Wow. That's cool.
Sexy.
And then also play around with it, and you get some interesting.
It's funny, but like a lot of directors and stuff will actually dance around that word, but that's exactly what they mean. Like they'll be like, just more enticing, more something. You're like sexy? No, I would never say sexy.
More dynamic. Dynamic, I think, is the good word.
More dynamics.
What's that?
More dynamics.
More dynamic.
Dynamic.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dynamic is good.
Oh, they love buzzwords like that.
Oh,
Oh man, they love that. Yeah.
I met Devin Jewell once, and he said one of his art directors was like, put in a golden ratio.
Okay. Well, I've worked with David for a long time. David, sorry. So I'm trying to think of which art director that could have been.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
But he's an art director now, so why don't he say that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, it's the buzzwords that come from like the